Moving on, we've got The Guardian now, and in the wake of the Russell Brand allegations, female comedians are claiming that there are dozens of sex pests on the comedy circuit, and Cressida is going to name them all.
I'm not going to name them all. There are dozens of Russell Brands. Female comedians say abuse is rife. Well, no, I can't, because, of course, there's no facts here. There is somebody who's changed their name, saying that when she was 18, she had an incident with a powerful male comedian in his 30s. All we know is he was in his 30s, she was 18, she's now in her 30s. It was really harrowing and triggering, but when I raised it with other comics at the time, they just encouraged me to use the incident as comedy material. So maybe she did have a terrible time. I don't know, because she's telling me nothing. We're just being asked to have this big emotional response without any specific facts. So this happens all the time, doesn't it? Personally, I haven't experienced anything like that, and I don't know what to do about that, because it feels as though you're supposed to bring something for the Harvest Festival. You know, no, but it does. When Me Too broke, everyone was like, you must have a story, come on, you must have... It's like, you know, when charity bags get left in your doorway, like, come on, you must have something for the cause. Go through your attic, find something. It's like, no, I don't have anything. I don't have anything. Maybe I'm just lucky, I don't know. But this just goes on, and yet we still don't talk about why this happens. And he's winding me up earlier saying I'm a pick-me, which apparently is a woman...
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
I said you'll be perceived by some people.
But I'm not a pick-me. The point
you'll be perceived by Lewis.
The point is, I know that men are bad, and I'm not going to expect anything... And when I say bad, I mean, let's read some proper stuff. David Buss is an evolutionary psychologist who's written about this. The book's called, I think it's called Why Men Behave Badly, or something like that. And he goes into these deep evolutionary reasons why men don't understand how upset we get about sex. We care loads. You guys, not so much. Yeah. You guys love it so much that if you're put in prison, straight men, you'll throw it into each other. Like this, we've got very different attitudes. It's a different thing. So, I don't know. I mean, clearly this woman's very upset, but I don't know what to do with that.
Well, yeah, because some of the complaints that have come out in the wake of the Russell Brand allegations, not to make light of any of them or anything like that, but that's exactly what I'm going to do. One woman was complaining that a comedian she'd had sex with him and he hadn't phoned her the next day. And I mean, I assume her phone can only receive calls; it can't make calls. But I was like, if that's the barrier we're at now, if that's the barrier for being considered, you know, this man needs to be carted off to jail. It's ridiculous. Right,
and it's so awful for people. I really resent this idea that it's all the same. You know, there's no grades of sexual assault. It's all the same. And I think, no, I'm sorry, it's not the same. If you're somebody that's been abused in the Rotherham grooming scandal, that is not the same as having an uncomfortable car ride to a gig. I just don't accept that.
Although I don't think any of the Rotherham grooming gang were comedians. But we're not sure.
I have to say something.
Yep. Well, say something.
I don't want to say anything because...
Well, say something. Come on, you can't...
Because, first of all, being a stand-up comic is a horrible job, OK? Russell Brand is not a stand-up comic.
Yeah.
He's a superstar, OK? He was never in the circuit with us.
Yeah.
I saw him once at the East Dulwich Tavern once. He wasn't really a comedian. He's one of the funniest people I've ever seen. I didn't think this when I first saw him years ago, and the guy's grown on me. I was in a room with him, and the amount of attention that he got was rock star-esque, and it was unbelievable. It was almost as much as I get.
Oh,
and so
that's true, but it still happens at every strata of society. There will be nightclubs this weekend where women will be going out in very small amounts of clothing, thinking that men need to be re-educated. It's never going to happen.
Yes.
Protect the... I bet nobody else...
But you can't say that. This is not something... Remember that the women out there, they will not hear what you say and take it in a good way. They won't say it. What the point I want to make is that the comedians that are criticizing, that are saying that it's really hard to be a comedian, a woman comedian on the comedy circuit. It's hard for everyone to be a comedian.
Yeah, but it's especially hard for women because they're not as funny.
No, women
There's loads of evidence for that.
No,
people don't like
stop
people.
For a second.
Oh my God!
I was actually joking, but I'm glad Cressida backed me up with science.
Come on.
I will say this. It's not that women aren't funny. It's just that men don't care and we're not listening. I mean, we've got other things on our mind. We're not listening. And you have to force a man to listen to your comedy. But here's the point. The point is that this documentary, I've got to get it in, was on Channel 4. Channel 4 is owned by the state. It's state propaganda. Okay.